Good afternoon. Welcome to our first family group meeting. We have a special guest here, Nancy Hefner. She's going to talk a little bit about her experience. But before we begin, I wanted to read something about family unit, and it says, by definition, a family system functions because it is a unit and every family member plays a critical, if not unique, role in the system. As such, it is not possible that one member of the system can change without causing a ripple effect of change throughout the family system. All right,
So what we're going to do, I want to introduce everybody to this meeting. This is a meeting that we will be having from every third Saturday between 12 and 1 o'clock. We will be having a family group meeting. And the purpose of that is because the family dynamic of everybody connected to the person that has the substance use disorder often get overlooked. And sometimes we might have a child, we might have a spouse, we might have all types of sisters, siblings, relatives, or loved ones that's connected to the person that has been struggling with a substance or alcohol, but we never really hear the story of the person on the other side. So today we're going to open up this group and we're just going to listen to the story. And if you're out there and you want to share your story, just contact us. You know, you can always contact us and talk about your story or the side that you had was affected in the family dynamic. So we're going to have Miss Nancy have some words for us. And we also, if you have any questions or anything, please put it in the comment section and we'll be able to put it on the screen and share it, if you will. Okay. So with that, we have Miss Nancy.
My message today is Jesus saves. Can you imagine for a moment, and you might want to close your eyes and think about this. Can you imagine for a moment that you're out in the deep ocean and you're helplessly sinking, but all of a sudden a hand reaches you and you are lifted up? It's Jesus. He's there with you and helping you, keeping you safe from harm. This is exactly what happened to my daughter, Lauren. She wasn't sinking in the water, but she was sinking deep in her life of no hope and despair. For 22 long years, Lauren was in bondage to her drug addiction, using every drug imaginable. It started with smoking marijuana, pills, and a downward spiral of any type of drug she can get her hands on. As her mother, I did not know what to do, and I was unaware that Lauren had a problem until my husband died over 5 years ago. As parents, we didn't know until it hits us in the face. The passing of her father really hit her in the face, and at the same time hit me in the face as well. And looking back, I realized that there were signs that I did not notice. Maybe we didn't want to see, or were so busy in our lives that everything looked normal. I remember I just wanted for things to be peaceful. Can't we just all get along, is something I would say. But I've grown to understand that it is not always the best. I would compromise myself and allow people to walk all over me. My soft demeanor would always be mistaken for weakness. It wasn't until I learned the word no. When I learned to say no, I was finally saying yes to me. After my husband's funeral, I was talking with two pastors that were affiliated or officiated the funeral service, and I told them I wanted to know what the word grace meant. I knew the definition, so I didn't need to be told that. God's merited favor, but I wanted to see with my own eyes firsthand. It was time for me to stand up for myself, to make the change in me that I would ultimately spill over to my two daughters. Do others like it when we change? No, the answer is no. But wow, was it necessary? Lauren was living at my house, but yet she had an apartment. It was not close to her stomping grounds, the place where she would easily get her drugs. I told her one day, guess what today is? It's moving day, with a smile on my face. I started to be able to think clear once she was gone, since I had been in such a fog. In the following year, I met Andrew, an amazing man, a Christian man that continues to stay by my side, and he's here today. He would tell me, Nancy, Lauren needs Jesus. She needs to surrender to him. That's the only way she will become free. I had to wrap my head around that and believe it too. When I would tell Lauren that she needs to surrender to Jesus, she wouldn't respond. But after speaking these words and praying for her, she became to understand. I continued to give Lauren the tough love that she needed. As her mother, it was so difficult. Mothers are nurturing and loving. I learned that I was loving her by not giving her what she wanted. Homeless and nowhere to go, Lauren finally got to the end of herself. One day in my backyard, Lauren decided to surrender. She fell to her knees in hopeless despair. She asked God to put her in the cornfield somewhere. She ended up going to Iowa Mission Teens, and then Ohio Mission Teens in Hillsborough. Soon after that, my daughter decided to call her sister, I'm talking about Janine, my younger daughter, decided to call Lauren. Janine was so angry and very disappointed with her. She was awakened persistently to hear a voice tell her, call your sister, and she would try to go back to sleep. Call your sister. Janine finally called her sister. Lauren was skeptical at her contact with her when they weren't even talking. Janine told her that she called because she loved her. When Lauren questioned that, Lauren broke down saying, I need help. Mom doesn't care anymore. She keeps walking away. I need help. And Janine told her, all you need to do is make that phone call. And she had numbers for her. Lauren made the necessary phone calls. In less than a week, Lauren was headed to Mission Teens in Cresco, Iowa. Cornfields all around her in the middle of nowhere. Her surrendering to Jesus saved her. When we think that things in life will never change, they always will if Jesus is put first in your life.
Nice.
When he shows up, he doesn't show up in a little way. He shows up in a big way, so you know it's him. Lauren is 3.5 years clean. She lives in Ohio, in Hillsborough, Ohio, actually in the same town where she went to the second part of her rehab. She had other things that she had to do and places that she needed to go. But she kept at it, and she knew she had a plan and she had a vision, a place, and something that she needed to do. She had come back from Hillsborough, Ohio after the 9 months in both places, and in a week she was back calling the person that she had hung around with, apologizing to him. And Janine and I both said, this is not happening. We said no to her again. She ended up going to a program, Freedom Home for Women in Millville. Bobby Bledsoe has a program for them, for both males and females. She went to that. They went out to Ohio again, to Cincinnati, to do a work program. Lauren created problems out there. Janine and I were on the beach in Ocean City one day, 2018, and we got a phone call saying, we need to do an intervention. The intervention needs to be, Lauren needs to be out of the program. Fortunately, when Lauren was in Hillsborough, Ohio, she met a pastor, Pastor Larry Maynard, who's in heaven. He's no longer alive, but he was her spiritual father that she needed. and he spoke to her the way that she needed to be talked to, in a loving Christian way. He had a program. Lauren happened to be the second girl in the Lake House Ministries in Hillsborough, Ohio. She thought she was going to his house. Little did she know that she was ending up going to the Lake House Ministries. She was there from September to January, and at that time, she then met her, now her fiance. And she needed to leave that program because of problems that were within the house. And Lauren said she wasn't going to allow herself to go in a bad way, being in a house. So she needed to go. She needed to leave. She moved in with her fiance's family, and they end up, getting a place together. Soon after, several months later, she found out she was pregnant to a little boy who I know. He was not born until February, but when we went out to the baby shower for Lauren to celebrate her arrival of the baby, that baby brought my daughters and I together. The three of us, when all this happened, it was like a bomb went off and there was an explosion and we all went in different places. John left, he was sick with cancer. Lauren was out in the streets. Janine didn't understand. None of us understood. And then finally, when we got together for this baby shower, it was like no one else was in the room. The three of us were together and we were finally put back together. And we still keep that relationship up and respecting each other. And we know that the only way this happened for our family and Lauren's recovery is through Jesus. And that's what I have to say.
You said a lot. That was awesome, because I was thinking about when you said how the baby brought y'all back together after the explosion. The baby brought y'all back together. It actually made me think about baby Jesus. Anyway.
Exactly. That's exactly.
I started thinking like, hold on, wait a minute. The baby brought the people back together. That sounds like a story I know.
It's exactly the same. And he has.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Little baby card.
Yeah. So a few things. Thank you for sharing all that stuff right there, because there's a lot that a lot of people don't understand of the process of going through that ordeal with your child. Like I told you, I was your child. Like I was the person with the addictive behavior, all types of that. That was me. Mm-hmm. And to hear when a parent express, how they're trying to go through that process with their child, and at the same time, like you said, when you said no, you were saying yes. That part right there, you speak for like parents all over the world. Like because the ultimate goal of the parent is to make sure that the child is safe, even though the child is very wrong. You still want to make sure this child is safe. And just to hear that how you all came back after the explosion, that part of God turning things around. And the pathway, what we teach here, what we often teach is it's multiple pathways of recovery. And if you choose that pathway, this person chooses this pathway, as long as y'all all going in the same direction, y'all all going in the same direction. The key is the person has to recognize what pathway is for them. And by her making that connection, that's when it finally clicked, like, oh, this is the way I was supposed to go all along. So no other way was going to work for her. So once she made that spiritual connection, it became mended. Everything in her life became mended. And it's not, I was telling the people yesterday at Mission Team, I'm not saying you're not going to have bumps in the road. I'm not telling you that. I'm saying that if you continue on that path of recovery, you will be okay. Just don't go back to what you came out of.
Mhm. Exactly.
Let's see what else we got here. I wanted to read something on this part, on this page. It says families are active systems and are influenced by changes that occur both inside and outside of the family system. Natural tendencies of families are to behave in such a manner as to maintain a sense of safety, security, and the ability to survive in the face of change. It is this desire to be normal which actually works against positive change in the family system. So when we try to get, like what that's saying is when we try to get our family dynamic back to normal, it actually, that part is actually going to be gone. And because you're going to, the normal thing is to make sure your child is all right or your spouse is all right and everything. But the tough thing is to say, no, like I got to change. Hold on. The whole normal pattern was this. And she spoke of it how when she was able to say, you know, no. And not only that, you mentioned how your daughter told one daughter, "Mom, not listening to me no more." She recognized that she made the difference.
Mhm.
Like she even had to tell her, "Yo, hold on, Mom changed."
Yeah.
And when I heard you say that, I said that the one daughter told the other daughter, I noticed that Mom changed. So the family dynamic was in the process of changing, and she started it. Like, I gotta change the way I've been dealing with you, and then that alerted her, like, hold on, because then you say she told her sister that,
Yes.
right?
Yes. One thing that I did do, that I'm thankful for, I was in an accountability group that I joined that same year. Andrew, being as the protective person that he is, he doesn't want to see me hurting. But I told him, I said, I need to do this because I have to find out what I'm doing and what I'm doing right or wrong. And so this person that she was leader of the group, she kept asking me, why are you doing, she would just ask a question. Why are you doing what you're doing? And why are you always feeling like you have to say yes to someone? She said, you're the one compromising yourself. And I said, I need to do this because I need to learn. One thing I didn't mention, and other people may be able to relate to this, my behaviors stem from my background.
Okay.
And my background was, I lived in a home where my father was abusive. He was terribly abusive in many ways imaginable. And my mother was a silent person in the house. I don't remember her speaking much at all. She was just felt that that's what she had to do. And I didn't even know that I had a voice.
Yeah.
So I learned that, but over the time, I kept continuing to get counseling. It kind of, that hit me what was going on at age 30. And I knew that I need to get counseling for myself because I thought, if I'm going to be any good for myself or my daughters, I better get better for myself.
First.
So things got better and better. And I've always been known that counseling for myself helped.
Yeah.
Because again, I wasn't going to be any good for anybody else.
But that makes a lot of sense that you carry stuff over. So it's fairly dynamic. A lot of people don't. Again, yesterday I was talking about getting down to the core. If you get down to the core of why things happen, yes, that person is struggling with a substance, but is there something deeper than that was carried over, and that's that person's issue. My wife always say, well, my husband's issue was drugs, mine was anger. Because at one time she would never admit that. But once we got to like family sessions and getting therapy, going to treatment, accountability meetings and stuff like that, she was able to say, hold on, when he get clean, I will come home and she'll bring up all the stuff that I did when I was using, which would trigger me back to, she said, that's the wrong strategy. So once we looked, she didn't know, but once she went to like accountability, she like, I can't carry that into this family. If he's going to work on that, let me work on this. And then we met like that. It was meeting at the top, which was God that was leading us. And it didn't work with just me dealing with my substance issue. And everybody in the house had their issues. It just wasn't substance. But they was like, yours is what we had to fix. And I'll never forget, we went to a family group and they gave me a book and they gave my wife a book. My wife said, no, I'm bringing him here. Why are y'all giving me a book? And they said, this your book. She said, I wish she was here. She said, so I was in a program and she was home and she was working on the book. And she was throwing the book across the room like, I can't believe that he's in rehab and I gotta work in the book. Because they was trying to show that the family dynamic is very powerful. If one person gets their situation right and the other person just keep it held, and then one day explode on the other person, they're gonna be like, what happened? So I'm glad you said you carried something in. Let me tell you about my background, and that's accountability. So whoever your accountability counselor was,
she's very good, and
you admitted it.
I had met with her, and she would ask me questions, and she said, actually, she saw us in November, and she said, I'm so proud of you, Nancy. And then when she says, I saw you, and I know I took my chair, pushed my chair back, and just went like that. And she said, I thought you were going to leave. And I said, no, I just was defensive, but I knew I was there because I needed help. So, like I said, Andrew didn't want me to hurt, but I said, I need to find these things out. Because I need to change myself. And then when I started to say no about certain things, and I said no with Lauren, I was saying no to Janine. I'm sorry, Janine, but I did. And but guess what? She ended up thanking me. They both thanked me for saying no. Lauren thanks Andrew for keeping by my side and helping me understand, because she would not be alive, and she would be the first to admit I would not be alive if I had to change and he wasn't by my side.
That's good, because that's like, if you tuned in now or if you watch this later, sometimes we're not saying that you're the problem with the person with the substance. We already know that everybody's issue is their issue. But sometimes getting an accountability session with somebody or getting counseling in the family dynamic can help. So don't think that, something's wrong with you because you have to go to, because most of the time, like I said, my wife, when they gave her a book, they gave me a book. And they was trying to let her know, no, your problem is not his problem, but let's work on what's your problem. So, and the same way when she was mentioning about all these different meetings that she needed to go, because she needed to find out, if you flip over on the next page, she walked right into this. It says, the disease impact on families, crisis and chaos becomes normal. The crisis is the event or series of events that occur when the family system is shaken and the truth of the problem is realized. The question then becomes, how did we get here? So, when we take the pause and step back, or we take a seat back and try to find out how did we get here, that puts everybody on alert. Like, because again, everybody focuses in on the person with the substance issue. But the child, the sibling, the parent, everybody is in that family dynamic, and we got it, like you said, they had the intervention. We need to figure out, okay, how we got here, like how we got here, and what we can do to change it. It says the common initial step of the family is to find help for the identified addict to address the addiction. You see how it says that? It's right here, sir. You see it? Keep turning that page. It's on the third page, the next one. I think it's the next one at the top.
Says disease impact of families, crisis and chaos.
Disease, got it. All right, it says, look, you see how it says the common initial step to the family is to find help for the identified addict to address the addiction. You see, the whole family, like, I know what we gotta do. We gotta get this guy or this lady's help. But that's the common. Everybody looks there, you know what I mean? But they forget the whole family.
Yeah.
It says the remainder of the family, which is the majority of the system, will experience initial relief in the hope that the problem is now being addressed and resolved. The original event or crisis or chaos of question of how did we get here quickly dissolves. This is when and where the intervention of the family system is necessary to engage the family in a shift towards their own recovery and focus on the impact of the family disease. And that's why that intervention said it was so powerful, because everybody has a part to play. We can't deal with the person that has the substance if we neglect to. She said something else. She said, I need to learn out. I need to learn. Am I doing something wrong? What am I doing right? You see that homework she had, she like, maybe the conversation, what I've learned, my wife realized when going through family counseling and all of that was, it's not that you can't say those things to him. It's the timing when you say it to him. So she would say what I did to her when I was actively using, but she would say it at times when I was going through something. Instead of waiting when I wasn't going through something and say, can I talk to you? Right? Mm-hmm. I would be probably just lost a job or just, you know what I'm saying? Just so now you want to talk about when I boom. Mm-hmm. So that wasn't the way to do it. So when she was saying she needed to learn, I need to learn, am I doing something right? Or am I doing something wrong? So when it talks about this, that shift in the family, the intervention of the family, the necessary engagement of the family, and the shift towards their own recovery, she was starting it. Even though she probably, her daughter was still active youth, she started that shift. Like, I gotta change something in this family. Gotta change. So she started that shift. You started that shift already by asking those type of questions. I need to learn. Am I doing something wrong? Am I doing something right? Accountability. So it all played a part in her recovery process as well. So that was awesome. I like that. Let's see what we got here. Let's see, something else I wanted to read real quick. This is good stuff. Oh yeah, family roles. This is.
I just spotted that. I said, wait till because I have something to say about that.
That's good. So it says this is so good. This stuff is right here. It's awesome. It says addiction affected family rules. Don't talk. Don't trust. Don't feel. These are all rules in the system. But then you have family roles. You got the family roles. Go ahead. You want to say something, Ms. Nancy?
Well, the family rules where it says don't talk, don't trust, don't feel. I was talking with Lauren the other day, I think it was Thursday, and she said, at first, Mom, you didn't want anyone to know because we keep it quiet and it's embarrassing. And she said, but when you finally started to let people know, she said, because I could have been ashamed of her or disappointed or wanted better, or even saying, oh, I wish my daughter was like so-and-so's daughter, you know, and it's, you know, she just knew that was something that bothered me. And she said, and you were really open. Oh, I know what it was. I was going to let someone know about today. And she said, well, that person still is in denial. So you don't know if that would be a good person to talk to right now.
Wow.
And she said, because she won't. She says the way that person is now is how you used to be, Mom.
Oh.
So that when I saw that, don't talk, don't trust, don't feel.
That was you.
It's like, whoa. And then Lauren called me out on it.
And she recognized that though. Yeah, like it was you know, keep it a secret. And that's a good thing that I always teach my clients, or I teach in general in life. I tell people when you have those secrets, that's when you gotta tell on them. The secret, what you don't want nobody to know, it keeps you in bondage because you got this thought or whatever's going on, and you don't want nobody to know. And I always said I didn't want nobody to know I was actually using when everybody in my town and the town next to my town knew already. I was the only one that thought they didn't know, but everybody actually did. But the family roles, this is I advise if anybody to look up these more in depth. When it talks about the family roles, you got the hero, the responsible one, the placater, the people pleaser, the scapegoat, acting out one, lost child, the adjuster, and the mascot, the clown. They always this is all different people in one family. And you have they all show their things. The clown always is really hurting, but he want to try to joke around about it all the time. But they really they the people I don't care. Yeah, she my sister, but whatever. But they really hurting. Mm-hmm. So they clown around, And then you got the people pleaser. Yeah, mom, whatever you say, mom. All right, dad. Yeah, whatever you say. All right, you want to do that with it. They not helping with the problem. They just whatever makes you happy. That's the problem. Yeah. There you go. The big pacifier. So whatever you want to do that. And then you got the scapegoat, the acting out one. Y'all always did you have that child or that sibling or whatever, and they be like, you always took her side. I'm doing this because you got all these different dynamics in that family. Then the people pleaser or the adjuster, the lost child, they just adjusted to whatever's going on. However it flows, I'm just going. I'm really not happy with my life or in the dynamic of the family, but I'm just going to adjust to however the flow go, I'm going to go. Mm-hmm. And it's that because you have all these different dynamics, people are getting left out. They're not being themselves. You know what I mean? And then I told my daughter one time, she was going through some stuff, and I said, I can't read your mind. I'd rather you just tell me. I can't. You want me to guess? I can't. Just tell me. And if you can't tell me, write it, type it, something, And what happened when I explained that to her, she couldn't tell me, but she was telling the siblings. And I said, I'll take it. Because they're older, they're able to, if there's some mental issues going on, we're able to help. Because she started telling them. I said, okay, and you tell me. I don't care as long as you know. So I know. I hate to not know, So it's very important, and that's good that your daughter pointed that out. You was like, this is so bad. I don't want anybody. And she was aware that somebody else was where you once was. Mm-hmm. She said, no, that person's still in denial. So that shows a lot of growth on her part.
These are codependent behaviors. And while I was trying to find out about someone else, I thought they were an alcoholic. And when I went to this counseling, the person that I was getting counseling with at the time was actually, he asked me to, I thought my husband was an alcoholic. And but I later found out that why he was drinking, not that it was right.
Yeah.
But I found out why. But he asked me to have him come, and he wanted me to determine who was my husband, John, and who was my father, because I was making my husband be my father. Oh. So he separated that for me in that meeting. We walked out of the meeting, and I knew exactly who each one was.
He had to separate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's my wife always, or one of our mentors always tell us, don't make your husband God. you think he's gonna perform all the tasks? Don't make them that. So that's good point. But oh man, so this was nice meeting with you today, Miss Nancy. Anybody, if y'all got any questions, always go to Capital Recovery Center's Facebook page. You can go to our YouTube page. This video will be on there. Will be shared with everybody else, other parents, other siblings. We will be having family meetings every third Saturday. We will be here. We're going to start building it up. If you want to come, 72 North Pearl Street, you can always come to 72 North Pearl Street during the week. This particular meeting we're going to start building it up and inviting other programs and other people to come share about their siblings or whatever. You don't have to be a parent. You can be a relative of someone. But whatever your story is that's attached to somebody that struggled with a substance use disorder, we want to hear it. And it does not matter what pathway you have chosen. Whatever pathway has got you to the success that they have, that's what we want to hear about. And it's awesome to hear a mother say, I got to take accountability for something. She said, I got to have accountability for something. And that's awesome to have somebody. Thank you, Miss Florence. She says, great information. Miss Florence. So thank you for that. Yes, it was great information. If y'all got any questions out there, we will be open to answer any questions. And we just want to thank Miss Nancy for her honesty, because I honestly believe God sent her to us. God sent her. I was sitting in a chair and I was praying about who we're going to have to share today. And this card just pulled right up while I was sitting in the chair, and I said, that's you? I said, that was you, that was the Lord. And that's how it is. It always is, man. Thank you, Miss Florence. She said, awesome message.
Thank you.
Yes. It was awesome. So we'll see you guys Tuesday, Coffee and Conversation at 10 a.m. And remember about all our Recovery on Wheels events. Share this video with all your friends so they can, if they need encouragement, because sometimes individuals have children and they're struggling right now. They can listen to a mother who has witnessed their child struggling and now is on the other side of all that for encouragement and hope. Thank you and God bless you.